Hello, I'm Margaret from Blue Monkey Tea Shop in Pittsburgh, and in today's video I will be talking about favorite teas of famous people. Politicians, royalties, singers, actors, even fictional characters. Let's see what teas do these famous people drink. First off, I want to thank people who were helping me in my research. So thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Teresa. Catherine. Catherine actually suggested Wallace and Gromit, which is like a very something I heard about, but it made me smile. I watched some videos, and I have to say this is really fun to watch these two on, especially on this winter gloomy day like today, except watching me. And apparently Wallace and Gromit did some advertising too, and we'll talk about this in a bit. And also thank you, Lisa, for suggesting Captain Picard, John, and a few other people that helped along the way to find me all these characters and famous people. 2700 BC, Emperor Shennan, who was an avid botanist, and he discovered many different plants and was not afraid to try them. As we know, also discovered tea, which supposedly accidentally fell into a cup of hot water near him while he was resting in a garden. And it was 2700 BC. I suspect that his favorite tea was probably just the leaves of tea tree that at that time people would boil with water, or they would make it into some kind of pulp and consume almost like food. Like I said, sometimes they just chewed on tea leaves. But I suspect that since the leaf fell into the cup of hot water or a bowl of hot water near him, I believe this was his favorite way of drinking tea, and was probably very unprocessed tea. Tea was spreading out, popularity of tea spread out very quickly throughout China. It was growing wildly. It was easily available. Monks and warriors, they also enjoyed tea, not just in China but later also in Japan. Samurais developed a ceremony before going to fight that involved powder tea, matcha. So that was a preferred drink of samurais. And speaking of, I'm just kind of going through history, and I want to mention some historical figures, people that either like particular type of tea or played a role in discovering and popularizing tea. Orange pekoe. Orange pekoe tea was invented in Holland in 17th century. It was just an example of brilliant marketing by merchants who originally blended that tea for royalty House of Orange. Pekoe, or pekoe as some pronounce, means hair. It's the little buds, the tips with hair on them, so they look white. And it was sort of like distorted Chinese name Bao Hao, but somehow it became pekoe. So orange pekoe or pekoe is not really orange tea. It's basically either tea. Usually it's actually tea from Sri Lanka. And because it was blended originally for House of Orange, or in honor of House of Orange, it became known as orange pekoe. And it still is. We actually have it here somewhere. If not, here we go. Orange pekoe. 18th century Catarina de Bragança, Portuguese princess, married Charles II, and she brought a chest of tea with her. And she made tea popular in royal court and then in England. And I suspect, I couldn't find out exactly, but I suspect that the tea that she was drinking was probably from, it was either from China or India. And Portuguese were the first nation that brought tea to Europe from China, as they were the only country that had trading rights in Macau, port of Macau. But pretty much the only country that had trading relationship with China at that time. So she probably had some Chinese tea, but because part of her dowry was Bombay, I'm sure there was some Indian tea involved in there too. Okay, I'm talking about Thomas Lipton now, who was one of the first merchants to start selling tea. He opened his first shop, a grocery shop, in 1871. And like I mentioned, he was a traveler. He liked to go to different parts of the world and to discover and bring products for his business. And one of those products was of course tea. He did, but I'm still not sure what kind of tea he was drinking. Probably, as most of us tea dealers, he possibly had too many choices, and but it would be really interesting to find out. If anybody finds out, let me know. And by the way, please comment, or if you know of any other famous people and their favorite teas, by all means put it in the comment here or later after this streaming is over. It would be very helpful. Thank you. Okay, the other British, well, Thomas was English, Thomas Lipton. Now, actually he was Scottish, I'm sorry, he was Scottish. Now, Thomas Twining was another merchant who opened the first actual tea room at 216 Strand in London, and that tea room is still there. So if you ever go to London, make sure you visit it. I will, definitely. And he was the first one. His company started blending Earl Grey tea on large scale and selling it. And that brings me to a story of Earl Grey tea. There's several versions of the story, but one of them is that Prime Minister of England, Charles Grey, had a guest from China, some kind of notable guest, and he didn't like the tea that was served in his home, Charles's home, so he developed a special blend for him, and it had bergamot in it. Bergamot is a oil from bergamot fruits, which is sort of like similar to orange but a little more bitter, and those grow mostly in Mediterranean region, and most of the bergamot right now comes from Calabria in Italy. And yeah, so I have this tea here, and it's actually from Twinings, but we also sell, of course, loose leaf Earl Grey, and this is actually one of my favorites, your own, Margaret's favorites, and it actually is a favorite of quite a few famous people, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes. Someone was suggested that I check on Queen Victoria, and I believe she drank mostly black tea. We're not sure exactly what it was, but she did enjoy having tea outdoors, frequently under the tent, and they even had like a little stove outside to keep water boiling. And she was famous for her garden parties. Like, she would love to have tea in the garden and invite others to her parties. She also had apparently a lot of teacups, teapots, but what she used teacups for, apparently she would cool off the tea. She would pour it from one teacup to another and drank like that because that was cooler already. Now, they say she also liked to add milk to tea and a drop of whiskey. And something else, which I've just learned. She liked coffee. And coffee was like a no-no at that time in England. So, but she was known for drinking coffee too. How about that? Since we're on British royalty, let's talk a little bit about Queen of England, Elizabeth. And I'm going to dress up when I talk about her and her tea taking. So apparently she likes to make her tea. I mean, she doesn't make it, but other people make it for her. But she will add loose leaf tea to her pot. Let's do it. It's a big pot, so I'm gonna have a lot of tea. And Queen's favorite tea is Earl Grey, and sometimes in the afternoon she tends to drink Darjeeling. We have a kettle. We need hot water. So this is how tea is made for Queen. It will be loose leaf tea in the pot, hot water. I think we're good. Can I have hot water, please? Okay. Now, interestingly, she drinks tea with milk, no sugar. Thank you. Let's add water to tea. Oh, it's a lot of tea. Come on down, you guys. Thanks, Evelyn. Come on down, have some tea. So this is steeping, but I will show you how Queen will drink her tea. So let's do this. I just like to steep. Let's just steep it a little longer because I think you know the black tea requires what, about 4 minutes? 4 minutes steeping, but don't steep longer than that. I'm steeping tea approximately. We have 1 minute past already. Speaking of Queen, and there's a very nice custom. Every year they have a Buckingham Palace Garden tea party, which apparently brings about 30,000 people from all walks of life. And Queen actually talks to these people. Everybody served special tea. And that tea is called Buckingham Palace Garden Party Tea. It's a blend of black tea, green tea, jasmine blossoms, cornflower petals. And it has a little bit of Earl Grey flavor in it too. So it's sort of like Earl Grey with jasmine. It's called Buckingham Palace Garden Party Tea. It's very good. So people also visit the gardens. They apparently take great care in preparing gardens for this event. It's lovely. Lovely. I want to sign up. I want to go. Okay, so for Queen, tea will be served like this with the strainer from the teapot. Brilliant. There we go. And then the milk will be added now. Now, she, or whoever's preparing tea for her, doesn't stir tea round, like round in round strokes, but it has to be stirred in straight strokes like this, and the spoon cannot touch the cup. Here we go. And no slurping. Excellent. She doesn't use sugar at all. I forgot to mention that. It's actually excellent tea. I made, wow, I forgot how good is this tea. This is tea from Taylors of Harrogate, also from England. And it's Earl Grey. And the leaf is amazingly, oh, the fragrance is amazing. Wow, wow, wow. I can have tea with Queen because we like the same thing. Okay. No pinky. Okay, done with the Queen of England. Done with Queen Victoria. We're moving on to Princess Diana, our poor Princess Diana. Princess Diana preferred very special tea. Apparently she drank rose pouchong. And we actually have pouchong here, which is very light oolong. It's only about 10, maybe, yeah, about 10% oxidized. So as you know, oolong is somewhere in between green and black tea. And then apparently Princess Diana loved pouchong with rose and rose flavor and rose petals, which can be done because we sell rose petals as well. Winston Churchill, and you probably heard me talking about him many times already. Favorite tea of Winston Churchill was Lapsang Souchong, smoky tea. And apparently he added scotch to it. And I will drink Lapsang Souchong, but I mostly use it for cooking. It's a very good tea to marinate chicken in or fish, or you can make meat rub with this, or add it to a broth for this kind of nice natural smoky flavor. And how is this tea made? The leaves are smoked from below, with smoke from burning pine cones or needles, and that smoke permeates the leaves and it gives them this nice smoky intense flavor. Many people like this tea. We have a lot of customers who really enjoy it, and not just Winston. Okay, done with Winston. I'm going back to 18th century Russia, because one of the people, royalties, which I missed, was Tsar Nikolai. Tsar Mikhail received a gift from a Mongolian ruler in the form of tea, but it was he really didn't care for it. However, his son Alexei did, and that was the beginning of the big popularity of tea in Russia. That tea, most likely, was so-called caravan tea, because in those times they would bring tea on a caravan from far, far east to Russia and eventually Moscow in Russia. Sometimes a journey like this took a year or longer, and during this trip the tea in bags would permeate with smoke from campfires, and therefore by the time tea made it to its destination, it had this specific kind of smoky flavor. But it wasn't exactly like Lapsang Souchong that I just talked about, because Lapsang Souchong is smoked in this specific way on purpose, and actually still made like this. Russian Caravan was probably a little less smoky. However, and Russians called it a caravan tea. Now, we do have tea called Russian Caravan, and if I find it, I'll show you. But we do have tea called Russian Caravan. It's a very similar. It's actually tea made probably to resemble that Russian Caravan tea. Okay, I'm drinking my teacup from my teacup. I'm not drinking my tea. I'm drinking my tea. Whoops, this is the way, proper way. I guess the proper way when you go to tea party with Queen, you have to hold your saucer like this. Okay, who else can we talk about in terms of history, royalties? Let's just move on to more modern times. Apparently, President Barack Obama liked fruit teas, especially berry flavored teas. And hey, why not show you this? We sell tea called Bingo Blueberry, which many of you already know. And it has a bunch of berries. It has elderberry, blueberries, bilberries, and it also has hibiscus, currants, and it's lovely. It's caffeine free, and apparently President Obama liked it either hot or iced. This is that Russian Caravan I was talking about. The tea that was accidentally invented because of the long journey from China to Moscow. Hi Denise. Hi Paula. Hi Evelyn. Hi Christine. Hi Leslie, I already said that. Hi Evelyn. Hi Nina. Hi Michelle. Catherine. Yes, Catherine. I knew about Wallace and Gromit, but I wasn't like recently in touch with them. So watching them was a lot of fun. And in fact, I'm planning on watching more of them. In fact, Wallace and Gromit, just for those who don't know who they are fictional characters. It is a British claymation comedy franchise created by Nick Park of Aardman Animations. And they had 4 short films, 1 feature-length film, and a lot of spin-offs and TV adaptations. But interestingly, they also are used in ads for a couple of famous teas. One of them is Yorkshire tea from Taylor's, and the other one is Fiji Tips. So these two also help promote these 2 teas. I have a picture of them here, but I don't know if you guys can see it well. Even looking at that picture makes me smile. Time for tea. Put the kettle on, lad. Okay. Pope Francis drinks what? Oh, we have a board here. Yerba mate. Yerba mate is an Argentinian herb. Oh, hold on one second. I have it here. Yerba mate is it's an herb, but it's very caffeinated. It's contains almost as much caffeine as coffee, but the side effects are much mild. There's no jitterness and anxiety. It also is loaded with antioxidants. And traditional way of drinking yerba mate in Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay is from this special gourd, cup made from a calabash gourd and straw with the strainer at the end. So sometimes you might see pictures of Pope Francis drinking yerba mate. Let's move on to some actors. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was in Pittsburgh a few years ago, and he posted on Instagram, "Rainy day in Berg, I'm drinking my favorite cuppa." And that was the tea on the picture. Of course, Margaret tweeted back to him, "Hey, we have it. If you need more, come here or I can deliver to you." So I haven't heard from him, but I suspect maybe next time he's here, he might stop in. But I'm sure he travels with big supply of this. I wonder if he watches Wallace and Gromit. Probably. There's several celebrities who really enjoy drinking green tea, and it also because it helps to stay in shape and maintain the proper weight. As we know, there are ingredients in green tea that helps to speed up metabolism, but also a lot of other health benefits are in green tea. Green tea has a lot of benefits, enormous amount of antioxidants. I brought here to my table Moroccan mint green tea, very popular. But there's a lot of teas and tea bags too. Like this is, we have tea called Queen of Greens. This is our new line from Clipper. It's another British company. It has lime and ginger. Actually, it's just lime and ginger green tea. Haven't tried it yet. I have to. Oh, I have tea called from the series called Crown. Speaking of Diana, it's called the Princess's Peach Bellini tea, but it doesn't have pochung in it, so it's not really a tea that she would enjoy. Maybe she would. Okay, Gwyneth Paltrow, Courtney Love, Fergie, and Jennifer Lopez. They all like green tea. They drink a lot of green tea. We also have tea created, and one of the favorite teas of Oprah, which is, I mean, it's not exactly Oprah chai, but it's very similar. This is actually blend from Adagio, but it's very similar, or I believe almost probably identical to one of Tivana teas that was called Oprah chai. Now this tea here is called masala chai, and it's really lovely because it is a little milder chai, as it has quite a bit of cloves in it, and cloves make it taste sweeter, smoother. Okay, Lady Gaga. Let's talk about Lady Gaga. I don't know exactly what is her favorite tea, but I believe she drinks a lot of various teas. She even has her personal China tea service that she carries with her anywhere she travels, and her crew calls it a comfort blankie. So Lady Gaga, yes. And what does Steven Spielberg like? His favorite tea is not really a tea, it's an herb. Peppermint tea. I'm just showing you example, stash peppermint tea, but of course we sell loose leaf peppermint. Apparently he doesn't drink coffee, but he runs on copious amounts of mint tea. Jennifer Lawrence, she's also a huge tea lover, and her favorite is dandelion tea. And we just have, sometimes you get dandelion tea in tea bag, but the best is loose root, I should say. We have dandelion root, and we also sell dandelion leaf. I have to check with her whether she likes dandelion leaf or root better. She claims that it helps her to de-bloat. I guess so. That's good. Taylor Swift, she always throws a tea party for all her meet and greet guests after concert. How nice. I guess Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift could probably travel together and have a tea party together. Tyra Banks, green tea as well, like these other four ladies I mentioned. Okay, so let's talk about Adele. Adele likes tea, and tea is also a theme of her video for her famous song Hello. There is a kettle, there's a teacup, and tea is being made. However, many people found it totally inappropriate that the water was poured into a cup first and the tea bag was submerged later. So they said, no, that's not the way to make it. What do you think, guys? Do you put first your water in a cup, or do you first put your tea bag in a cup, if you use tea bags? Apparently, tea was a form of reflection, a source of liquid courage in that video, to find strength to go and tell that special one that you haven't moved on. Yeah. John Lennon, big tea drinker, very particular about tea making. Going back to Lady Gaga, he would not like that because John Lennon insisted the bag has to go first and water next. And apparently, when his wife sometimes did opposite, he could actually find out while taking his first sip. He apparently was able to tell whether the tea bag was put in the cup first or water. Mick Jagger takes tea at 3. That's all I found out. There's several photos of Rolling Stones drinking tea, as well as Beatles drinking a lot of tea. Ozzy Osbourne, Yorkshire Gold. Ozzy likes Yorkshire Gold. I guess him and Russell Crowe could have tea together. And let's now talk about a little more about fictional characters. I think it will be fun. And I already mentioned Wallace and Gromit. Doctor Who. Doctor Who, described by 5th Doctor Who, tea is a nauseous infusion of oriental leaves containing a high percentage of toxic acid. However, all Doctor Who's like to drink tea. It was consumed to, stimulate the thought, the power, and etc. And it was served, usually consumed with biscuits, probably digestives. I have to watch some of those. Maybe some of you guys know if Doctor Who was eating digestives or some other biscuits. And he also, and jam. Doctor Who, tea, biscuits, and jam. And here are some of the teas that he drank. Tea with yak butter, and as you maybe remember from my tea traditions class, this is the type of tea consumed in Tibet, where they add actually yak butter and salt to their tea.
Janet says she was married 28 years today.
Oh, happy anniversary! Janet married a British man. Awesome. Happy anniversary, guys. I hope you're drinking tea. What is your favorite tea? And Kelly says, bag first, unless it's a green tea bag, then water first, so it has time to cool enough from the office kettle. That is so thoughtful. That is great. That's a great tip. Okay, going back to Doctor Who, he also liked Darjeeling, Lapsang Souchong, and Earl Grey. So, Doctor Who, Winston Churchill, and I'll tell you who else. Sherlock Holmes. He also liked this tea. Hercule Poirot, a Belgian detective, as we know from the series by Agatha Christie. He was he liked neatness and order, and he also liked tisanes, which means tea made with herbs, no caffeine. And I have a feeling that he may have liked maybe French verbena, or maybe chamomile, peppermint. Have to watch them to see. This Captain Picard, of course, famous scenes from Star Trek, when he would get tea from the computer replicator. Earl Grey, hot. Earl Grey, hot. It's funny how he would say hot. I guess in this society here in America, a lot of people assume and mostly drank tea as iced tea. So that was interesting that he was always asking for Earl Grey hot. Star Wars. We have some teas now from a new Star Wars series, Mandalorian. Am I right? This just came out recently. It's from Republic of Tea. There is a child green tea with Yeti on it, and we have mysterious black tea, and there's one more. It's called Warrior Herb Tea. Very nice. Very, very nice. Princess Peach. Does it ring the bell? Super Mario Brothers. Apparently, Princess Peach would draw energy to protect others from special tea called Vibe tea. And when she drank the Vibe tea, her Vibe meter would be on the rise. And she was getting more power to save her friends. How about that? Who read books, series of books, Ladies #1 Detective Agency, probably knows that Lady Detective Ma Ramotswe used to drink Red Bush tea, which we have actually here. I do have vanilla, but Red Bush tea, rooibos, is tea from South Africa. It's not really a tea from tea plant. It's a different plant. Doesn't have any caffeine. It's very good. It has mouthfeel body almost like a black tea. It's very healthy. A lot of antioxidants. Alexander McCall Smith, who wrote these books, is also an avid tea drinker. To the point where when he travels, he actually takes his teapot with him. And I think I'm coming to the conclusion here. If I missed any famous people, any celebrities, I apologize. There is many. Like I said, tea is one of second most popular beverage in the world, so no wonder that so many famous people took it to tea. Do you share any tea preferences with celebrities, famous people that I mentioned today? I'm just curious. And like I said, tea is accessible to most people in the world, so not just famous people, celebrities, but it's kind of cool to know what are their favorite teas, because they are actually influencers. So if, let's say, Jennifer Lopez drinks green tea, apparently, definitely there'll be a lot more people, once they hear that, they're going to drink more green tea. Not like when Margaret says that she drinks Earl Grey. Maybe some people, some of my followers, viewers, they will follow me. I'll be a little bit of influencer, but it's great. It's great that famous people actually drink tea and promote tea, because, as we know, tea is very healthy. It's a great beverage, and not just a beverage, but it's a way of life, and it's a great way of relaxing and making connections. If you travel in the world, regardless of where you are, the chances are that you will be offered tea. And if you know how to take this tea, if you know the ritual, you will make friends much easier. By the way, I think I'll be doing I do have a class on tea rituals around the world, and it's available on our website. However, this was done like about almost a year ago during the quarantine sessions. So I'm thinking about doing another one soon, and hope you guys join me. And this is all for today, folks. I thank you so much for being with me, for watching. And if you have any other information about famous people or fictional characters, which are important too in our lives, Wallace and Gromit, let me know. Post in comments or send me email. My email is 100teacups@gmail.com. Wallace Gromit. Thank you so much. See you again.